Wow, it's a great privilege to have you watch me again on this coaching session. You're welcome to Young and Wise, and I would like to suggest to you to share this link to friends and family, subscribe, and we'll do our best to come your way as many times we can to bring you messages that can give you the right mindset, give you a better perspective about life. We want to come your way with principles for effective and successful living. Now, today I'm going to share with you something very, very interesting. You see, the reason why I'm so passionate about this series is life is so brief. I don't know the number of years you want to spend on this earth, but I don't think you're going to spend 1,000 years here. And as you can remember, some few years back when you were in your second cycle education and all that, a time will come 5 years from now, it will be as if it was just a day before. And because of that, I don't think we can live life making all the mistakes. There are some things we have to know as young people. And I believe there are two ways you can learn. It's either you learn through mentorship or by mistakes. But the latter is very painful because it's full of regrets. And we are coming away with some of these series so that at least you know how things work, have a better perspective. In Bible, you see, this is my major source of inspiration. And as I said in the previous series or the previous episode, I was talking about the lens through which you view life. Me, I view life through, you know, the Word of God. And when you open to the book of Genesis, you realize that Genesis 1 makes it so clear that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And then verse 2 says something that keeps me thinking. It said the earth was without form, void, and darkness was upon the surface. Now, this is where I want us to come to some level of thinking. Now, how come God creating the heavens and the earth? The next verse is telling us that the earth was without form, void, and darkness. That means something happened. Maybe some other time we're going to talk about that. I just want to draw your attention to something that even God creating something, there are other players at work to mess up things. So God can have a plan for your life, but it happens that in this world, things don't happen automatically. There are other players at work, so we have to know how things work. We shouldn't be ignorant so that we don't end up being frustrated in life. Now, I'm going to do my best to share with me the little I've received by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit with regards to this formless void and darkness, so that we apply it in our lives. What does it mean for something to be formless? Something without form. That means it lacks identity. You cannot describe it. Void is something empty. And darkness, I know how darkness looks like or it feels like to be in darkness. Now, when I say formless, that means the thing lacks identity. You cannot describe it. And you realize that in our own life, there are times we feel formless in the sense that there are areas of our life we can't really describe. We cannot really define your finance, your academic life, your career, your health. They are so formless. And it happens like when your name is mentioned, people cannot identify you with anything. When your name comes in mind, we cannot associate you with anything. Now, this is the question I want to ask you. What will make people come to you? And when your name is mentioned somewhere, what comes in the mind of people? That gives you an idea of your identity. But it happens that sometimes most of us are formless. You can assess the various areas of your life and realize that you cannot really describe how your financial life is. You cannot really describe how your relationship is. You cannot really describe how your career or academics. But today, I have a good news for you. Now, what do we consider as something which is void? Talking about emptiness. And you see, I realize that there is this void in man that makes man crave for, first of all, a higher source of power. And I believe that's the reason why I have so many religions. You see, God intentionally left that void in mankind. And interestingly, some of us try to satisfy this void with material things and other pursuits. And to interest you to know that the more we crave for the degrees, the masters, and some qualifications, some material things like young people want to have the best phones and want to look nice, fashionable, and all that. Realize that those things satisfy you temporarily, like it's not permanent. But I believe God left that void in mankind so that we pursue Him. Not for that, I don't think you watching me right now, you would even pursue God. Because if you are satisfied and you are okay with everything life offers you, sometimes you might not even think about a greater. So I believe God intentionally left that void in you that you can pursue Him. Now, darkness. I'm going to throw, much light on the darkness. It looks funny, right? It sounds funny. But the truth of the matter is, I'm going to spend much time on this darkness. Imagine yourself in a dark room. How does it feel like? Become so uncomfortable, become so confused. You see, your own room, you've been in the room for so many years, but immediately there's no light. You find yourself, hitting your leg against your own bed or chair. If there's water on the floor, you might not see, you might slip. That means darkness brings a whole lot in our lives. And I'm doing my best to give you some kind of understanding here. You see, when we talk about darkness, darkness signifies ignorance or misunderstanding. In the realms of the spirit, ignorance and misunderstanding are in the same plane because they produce the same results. Now, you just imagine yourself at a dark place. You see, normally when we were kids, you just get frightened when there is darkness. So that means darkness brings fear. Darkness brings confusion. You become so frustrated in darkness. Why? Because there's something you need to know that you don't know. And that's what I'm talking about, ignorance. So my interest in darkness is as a result of the next verse, Genesis 1:3. Bible says, and the Lord said, let there be light, and there was light. And you bear with me that the light came to address the darkness. But the earth was in three states: formless, void, and darkness. So light came to address the darkness. So why did God choose to address the darkness? And that is where I want us to pay attention to this evening. Darkness is the fundamental problem in our life. Because as you watch me right now, if my light should go off, you will not see me. And I'll be confused here. Getting up from my own chair will be a problem. How will I put this place in order if the place is dark? How would I look for my glasses? How would I look for my pen in my Bible if the place is dark? That means when you find yourself in darkness, you wouldn't even see how messed up the place is. You can't put the place in order. And when you want to find your own stuff, your Bible, your book, your shoe or something, it becomes a problem. That means in this life, we need to address our darkness. Now let me make you understand it very well. Ephesians 4 makes it so clear that the understanding of many have been darkened and their hearts have been blinded, and this alienates them from God. You see, there's a correlation between light and life. And the absence of light brings darkness. You see, immediately I put my light off, darkness will just come. But when I switch my lights, darkness will just vanish. The light will not bring darkness to vanish. The darkness will just vanish. And the higher your luminous intensity, there is no room for darkness. Because I can have a phone light right now. It wouldn't bright as much as this bulb. What am I trying to say? Darkness signifies ignorance. That means you have to deal with your ignorance. Darkness signifies misunderstanding. That means you have to understand whatever you know. Because with understanding, you are going to apply. So what do we need in our life? We need light. That's why God said, let there be light. And what is this light? I'm talking about information, some knowledge, some insight that brings clarity and direction. Because when I have light right now, I'll know how to move about this place. Because when I have light, there's clarity, and I can find my direction. You see, in life, we all need clarity and direction. That's why some of us pursue prophets and people who have higher intelligence, because we are always found in confusion and depression. We are always found wanting. We are confused in life. And this is why I'm taking my time to make you know that we have to deal with our ignorance. Deal with your darkness. I pray that as you watch me, we rebuke any blindness and darkness. You see, darkness brings blindness too. No matter how bulgy my eyes are, even if I should put on my lens and there's no light here, I can't see anything. That means there is a need for light into my system. And there's something interesting about light. The kind of light tells how well you see things. I have a white light, and according to physics, you see the white light has all the combination in various wavelengths to make the white light a kind of light. That means the white light brings a better interpretation of colors. But let's take it that I change this bulb and make it blue. It will define things differently around me. It's not just about any information, because I told you that light is information, but you have to get the right kind of information. Because if your light is not a white light and it's a blue light, just imagine yourself buying something from a shop with a blue light. You are not going to make the right judgment. It affects your sense of judgment. So you realize that people buy things from a shop with a blue light, they come out and they realize that no, this is not what they wanted. What am I trying to say? You need light in your life. And the right light is Christ. According to John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. And that Word became the light and the life of men. You can take your time, read John 1, verse 1 to 6, and you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell you that there are so many lights talking about information around, but the right kind of light is Jesus Christ. He's the light that shines in darkness. And by him, through him, all things were made. Nothing was made without him. May the Lord shine his light in your life as you watch me. When it happens that you are so confused, when it happens that you are so frustrated, you wake up in the morning and you feel so frustrated and depressed, all that you have to know is that you need some light, because you find yourself in darkness. So you just pray for revelation, pray for some understanding concerning your situation. It can be in your finance, your relationship, your marriage, your career, any area of your life. So this is the clue. When you wake up in the morning or you get to a level in life and you become so confused, depressed, frustrated, it's just telling that you're in darkness and you need light. And I thought that light is some information, talking about knowledge, wisdom, understanding. May the Lord bless you. Life is brief. Life is so brief. You cannot just wander about in life and be making mistakes. You just need some light for clarity and direction, so that you make the right choices, so that you have the right results. Because it's all about choices and consequences. God will not decide for you, but God can grant you some wisdom, some understanding, so that you make your own decisions for effective living. It's a God story. Thank you so much.